Hold up, wait a minute. It's what's the day, brother? April 17th,
17.
2025. I want to make sure we say that out loud. Montel Allen's and don't worry about me. That's Montel right there, y'all. What's going on, brother?
Nothing, man. Blessed as usual, man. Just ready to get this show going.
Is that right?
Talk some football with some real men that I really respect. Some real
So
guys I
say
really
that.
respect.
Say that again. We got some
Yeah.
OGs in the building. Listen, folks. We got some winners in the background right now. Friends
Yeah.
of the show, family of the show. So we gonna have a conversation. Y'all know it's all about the draft. I'm gonna just set some parameters up first. Y'all know I'm gonna be the Wizard of Oz back here behind the scenes, pulling all the levers and doing the thing. So if you got a question, put a Q in the comments section so we can put it out there for them. But we just gonna have a discussion. And if you wrong about who you think is gonna be top 10 on the draft pick, we gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that on. Let's say what's up to folks that's coming in right now. Brother Stark, we see you, man. Appreciate you for being in here, testing out some new things too with the comments because we're pulling them in from everywhere. So watch your mouth because it's gonna pop up on the screen. I'm not controlling it. It's just gonna pop up on the screen. All right, man. Montel, you want to say something, brother? You want to say something?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, prayers out to the victims at Florida State University on
Yes.
the tragedy that happened today, man. That's just another one that's becoming normalized in our society. I wish that would go away. Otherwise, man, just blessings to everybody that's out there, man. Let's just kind of get this thing going and get it started, man. I'm very excited to talk to these gentlemen, big time.
I love it, man. Let's go ahead and get it in. So first and foremost, let's bring. I'm gonna bring them both on. We're not even gonna mess around.
Mm,
Let that marinate for a second.
mm.
Let just the cats on the screen marinate. We're gonna go all the way from the left or the right. We're gonna go West Coast, then we'll go East Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, Bert Grossman is back in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Come on, man. Say it with your chest. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it's Bert Grossman in the room. Say it.
I'm doing well.
Okay. Oh, okay, man. I know you got the football league that you're working on. You're probably thinking about that right now, but that's why we're talking the draft. And oh my God, look, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Irving Fryer.
Who's got a dog in the
See,
background,
why
man?
I
Is
bring
that
you
your
I bring
dog?
you on and you start worrying about the things that's
Is
happening
that your
around you.
dog? Is that your dog?
I don't
Hicks, is that your
my dog
dog?
is dead. My dog died.
I was gonna say,
I didn't kill the dog.
so you know better.
You bringing up bad news. I'm trying to bring you on, with a little fanfare. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dr. Irvin Fryer right there. How you
Here
doing,
I
good sir?
is. I'm good, bro. It's good to
Okay.
see all of you. It's good to be here tonight. I don't know where people are who are watching right now, but
We
I'm on the
everywhere,
East
man. We
Coast.
everywhere.
Okay, you everywhere? Okay, so some people on the East Coast. So all of us are past our bedtime right now.
See,
All of
there he
us over
go.
60.
I'm close. I'm
Uh, you close?
I'm 56, brother. 56. Listen, let's go
Oh
and get
man, you
locked
ain't
in.
close. Get out of here,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah, see,
56.
MDH is
You
in the
talking about
building.
56?
Appreciate
You
you for
close
being
to
here.
60. Man, I'm 62. Get out of here.
No, see.
I wish I was 56.
And then already turned into the peanut gallery here, man. Oh my gosh. Montel, you lead the conversation, man, because again, this
Yeah,
is something that's in your wheelhouse, and like I say, I'm gonna be back here pulling strings and doing the things, but we want to just talk about the draft and everyone's predictions, everybody's mock drafts and things of that. But how you want to get it going, brother?
let's talk about Nico first. Nico from Tennessee.
Mm.
Situation, man.
Nico from Tennessee. Let me get
Mm-mm.
wait a minute. Let me get
He,
my
he got
paperwork
notes.
straight
I
here.
ain't mad at this. This man got notes.
Now,
Bernie got
before we
I
go
gotta
into
notes.
the
have,
draft, we'll
yeah.
talk about Nico, and I would love to get you guys' opinion. Obviously, the story is Nico signed to an NIL for $2 million. He
Uh-huh.
decided he's outplayed this contract 2 years into playing for Tennessee. He said his mark was $4 million.
Mm.
Tennessee was like, we're not paying that, so he went into the portal. And it's not. I think that's starting to become a trend. I want you guys' perspective on that situation, and I'll let you go ahead and go first, Bert. Tell me what you think about that.
At first, I don't agree that he outplayed his contract to this point, as a freshman, but 2,600 yards, I don't know, 16, 17 TDs. Now, against really good SEC teams, he never did that well. And you also saw the Ohio State game, I think 30 attempts for 100 yards. So the big games he didn't, but potentially, obviously, he's great. But it was $2 million a year at 18, and the family will say the offense they had there wasn't significant to develop him to be a pro quarterback, which I kind of agree with. It's that old Baylor Brills offense that really has developed nobody. He wanted more talent on the offensive line. He wanted more pass to open up and a more innovative offense. But I think in the long run, I think it's actually better for him. I mean, he's from LA. He returns back to LA. You have support from family, friends, everything else. Kind of long and by yourself in Knoxville, Tennessee, isn't where a kid from LA probably wants to be. So I don't think he was that happy there, to be honest with you. But it's almost like they pressed for $4 million a year, knowing they weren't going to get it, so he'd have a reason to leave out of there.
How about you, Irvin?
You man, it's just different right now. What do you tell a kid that's 18 years old who's making $2 million? What can you actually tell him? What kind of information can you give him that's instructive when he's making $2 million? This is a negative with regards to the portal and what the athletes, football athletes, the other athletes too, that play sports, what they're able to do year in and year out, change schools if they want, go to the highest bidder. I believe one of the flaws of the portal, one of the flaws of free agency in college is this. At any time, a kid can say, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. You're not paying me enough money. I'm going to another school. I think something should be established in the fact that, like with Nico, okay, you want to transfer to another school. You can't make more than half of what you made the year before when you transfer like that. And that will stop. That will stop all of that, because he's not going to go to another school and make $1 million after he was making $2 million. He would have to submit or yield to a half of what he was making because he's transferring. But they're going to the highest bidders, and college football has changed. College sports has changed. We need to wrap our brains around that, because these are the types of athletes over the next 5, 6, 7 years. Now, what the portal has been, NIL has been in place now 2-3 years. Not sure how many years, but imagine these kids coming in and what the NFL is going to be like in the next 6 or 7 years. The NFL is going to be full of these kids who have had NIL experience and NIL money and have felt privileged and have somewhat of a different attitude and perception when it comes to who they are and what they deserve and what they're entitled to. I don't agree with NIL at all in terms of how it's been implemented. The portal should be done away with. Yes, I went to Nebraska from New Jersey when I was 17 years old. And yes, I wanted to come home. I wanted to go home, but I had to stick it out and stay committed to my the decision I made to go to the University of Nebraska. And it was what was best for me to develop as a young man. Yes, I was lonely. Yes, I was homesick. Yes, I wanted to go back home. Every chance I got to get back home, I went back home, tried to stay home a couple of times. Tom had to come and get me one time because I wasn't going back to school. But that's something that comes with it. That goes with it. Yeah, he's in California, he goes to Tennessee. He made that decision.
And that's interesting what both of you guys said. Both of the comments both of you guys said. Him moving out, him moving away. $2 million now, you can set up shop and bring your family with you to be able to make it a little bit home instead of being homesick from LA, I think. And like you said, he made that decision. I just think this is setting a different precedence, because now, like you said, when Nico does get the opportunity to go to the league and he gets drafted for somebody he doesn't like, all of a sudden, now it starts to become a negotiation nightmare. Because guess what? I just banked $8 million. I'm not depending on you to sign my life away to come play for you now in Indianapolis. I don't want to play in Indianapolis. Right. I'm gonna hold out. So the holdout game is going to become long and strong going into the NFL draft. I think when players are getting drafted by people they don't like, because if the NIL money is paying $2 million for somebody that's not mediocre, but a guy that's in the mid range in the SEC as a quarterback, can you imagine now as these top guys become the big and the power four, the top prospects are going to be able to be like, I don't want to go to Cleveland. I don't want to play in cold
Right,
weather.
right, right.
Like,
Well,
and the money's not going to force me to sign anymore. There's no such
I
thing as the money forcing me to sign. I don't
I
have to
saw
sign.
some research, I think it was last year, where if a college team wants to recruit and have a high school average quarterback be interested in their school and have a chance, an average quarterback have a chance, the school have a chance for that coming and signing with them and acquiring a scholarship with them, they have to at least offer him $1 million. Now that's an average quarterback coming out of high school, not a blue chip All-American, an average quarterback.
But I mean,
Well, imagine this. I mean, just put in perspective. And Eric, you, man, we all went to college. He's making 50 grand a week year round, 50 grand a week. He's made 2 million last year as an 18-year-old freshman in college.
Right,
Brock
right.
Purdy's made 1.8 million in 3 years, and he's played in the Super Bowl, in the NFC Championship game. I mean, we all, Irvin, you know, you got paid, or you would have went to Pitt instead of Nebraska.
Right.
True.
And how'd you know I had a chance to go to Pitt? it was between Pitt and Nebraska. It was between Pitt and Nebraska, man.
No, Nebraska paid more. That's why you went out there.
Well, I went out because I was being recruited as a defensive back, and I saw a better opportunity at Nebraska to play defensive back than I did at Pittsburgh. But when I got to Nebraska, like I think it was the third day of practice, Tom put me on offense, tried me on offense, and the rest is history. I never went back to defense, but I was being recruited as a All-American defensive back, safety. So the money didn't, and we did. Don't get me wrong, we got paid, but not my freshman year. Once I got there, a starter, and got established, then we became a part of the group, the good old boys, and so yeah, we got paid for sure. We did what we had to do to survive and to thrive, but it wasn't anything like what they're getting now. What they're doing now in terms of the amounts. I mean, some of these cats are making some ridiculous money. If they had the NIL when I was in college, as
come on,
well as I did in college,
yeah,
I'm talking about playing, I probably never would have gone play pro ball because I didn't want to go play pro ball anyway. I would have stayed in college. I'd still be in Nebraska right now.
Well, didn't I see somewhere?
Still in Nebraska right now, still making NIL.
Your 40 time was
probably
money
ain't no good if you got to live in Lincoln, Nebraska, though.
Huh?
Money's worthless if you got to live in Nebraska, though.
Nah, man. Listen, the cost of living is the lowest in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's the lowest in the country.
You can import whatever you want with $2 million in your bank.
There you go.
There
you go.
Right? So, man.
Yes, sir.
Wow. All right. So we'll go off the Nico thing. Let's go to this draft thing. And let's just Shedeur, because Shedeur is a hot topic right now. And he's falling. Right. He's falling so fast, it's unbelievable. And Cam Ward is right now is the number one quarterback coming out from Miami. And Shedeur right now is the second one that's supposed to be drafted, but he's all the way down anywhere between 9 and some people even say down to into the 20s. But
I don't know about the 20s.
My caveat, well, it depends. They were just saying it depends. He could fall. It just depends. I'm saying my caveat is this: Shedeur has just as many quality wins or more quality wins than Cam Ward. He beat TCU opening day when they had nothing to go off of. He did pretty good last year in the Big Ten. Cam had a few good wins, but Shedeur's had some pretty good wins. Why is he dropping so far down the meter, this draft meter, in you guys' opinion? Because I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's the Sanders mouth, like you said, the Sanders reputation,
Sanders mouth,
or what it is, because his play on the field has not been that bad. Not to warn him, he's going to fall 10 spots, 9 to 10 spots.
Me first.
I was looking at a couple of mock drafts, and a couple of them have him, like you said, in the 20s, at 21 with Pittsburgh and whatnot. I think Well, first of all, I think it's very impressive the influence that Deion has on football right now, whether it's college football or professional football. I just think he's dropping because when you look at the film on Shedeur, it's hard to evaluate him because he was scrambling a lot. He got hit a lot. Yes, he did make some plays, but when you watch the film on him, you can only grade him on half of the plays because a lot of those plays he was running around with a broken play trying to make something happen. Took some rough hits too. There were a couple of times I was watching games and I didn't think he was going to get up. He's a tough kid. He's a very tough kid. But we all know that it's different in the NFL than it is in college. You can't get away with the same stuff in the NFL that you did when you get to the next level. I mean, in the NFL than when you did when you were college. So I think he's sliding because, yes, he does have the tools. I believe he is an accurate quarterback. I believe he can throw the ball well under pressure. But I think, and this is just my opinion, this is not something that I know for sure. This is not something that I heard. This is just intuition on my part. I think his ability to see the field, his ability to make decisions on the go in terms of adjustments to defense, I think maybe he lacks a little bit in that area compared to some of the other quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft this year. And that's why I think he's dropping. Almost like Justin Fields, who's at Pittsburgh. He's still at Pittsburgh. Almost like him. He was slow his rookie year in terms of being able to see pre-snap what was going on with the defense and then make adjustments after the ball was snapped when they, disguise and then go into their real coverage. He struggled with that. And I think, this is just my opinion, I think that's one of the things that the scouts, that the coaches are concerned about what you're doing.
Bert, hey, you know what? Before you respond, I think we made an assumption here, and we'd be remiss if we didn't do this. In conclusion, can you say who you played for and what positions you played for? And then, Bert, could you also do the same? I apologize to the community. We just overlooked that, and we just made an assumption.
Well, first of all, this is your show, Hicks,
Oh,
because you know
Lord.
I'm about to get on you right now. You know that, right? Because I do this for a living too, like you. And so you asking us to say this, you should have said that when you introduced us.
I brought y'all on like family because again, y'all got the code to the front door of the house. I told last time when y'all were both on this show, and Montel, no,
listen,
I said
when
you
you
got keys
introduced
to
us, you should have gave all the stats and all that stuff. That's your job. Do your research and do the introduction the right way.
We about to cut this show short right now. I tell you what, mess around and find out if you.
Y'all listen, y'all know I'm messing with Hicks. That's my dude. All right. I love him. If I didn't love him, I wouldn't be messing with him like that because I don't want him to go berserk on me. I played 17 years in the NFL, drafted in 1984 by the New England Patriots, played 9 years there. Then I was traded to by request, traded to the Miami Dolphins, played 3 years there. Then I became a free agent and went to the Philadelphia Eagles, played 3 years there, again, free agent. And I went to the Washington Redskins, played 2 years there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
He modest. He being modest. The All-Pro awards and all. He didn't want to say none of that.
He ain't saying number one overall, right? Okay.
Yeah, he ain't saying none of that.
You didn't ask for that. I was saying what you asked me to do.
Yes, you did.
What you asked me is what I
pay
responded
attention.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
My big man, Bert, go ahead, Bert.
Urban, who made more in Nebraska, you or Rozier?
Oh my God.
I would have to say not much more, but Mike made more for sure. He made more.
I've always wondered that.
But our sources were the same. Our pay sources were the same. So I knew what he was getting. He knew what I was getting.
Man, y'all airing out all dirty laundry.
They know this recorded too. So this gonna be on the internet in like 4 hours.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me that people don't think already that something was going on. Dude, I was driving my senior year. I'm driving around in a brand new Corvette. Come on,
with no license. Didn't even
I had a license. Yeah. I got a brand new Corvette. I ain't no job. I'm playing. I'm playing football at the university. I have a job. My mom and daddy didn't get a raise or anything like that. No. So what? Where do you think it came from?
I love it.
I
Man.
know, but
Oh, we know.
before this all came out, that's the unwritten thing
He
that
can't
you
even
didn't
say
say,
it.
or the unspoken truth
Well,
you
now
didn't
we can
always know
say
what
it
talked
all.
about.
We can say it all now.
Yeah, y'all can say it all. I'm glad y'all saying it all. I like it. I'm just saying, boy, there's some people just going, damn.
And it was spoken because if you're from Philly or Jersey, you can't be in college and I think I saw him in a mink coat one time in college, knowing he's from Camden. That don't fit.
Right. So, I mean, it's not like they couldn't see what was going on. They didn't know where it was necessarily coming from, but they could see something was happening when we're driving around in brand new cars, model and make that current year. Come on.
Come on.
They didn't.
Boy, this
driving
man
up to the
was
stadium,
wearing Louis before
parking anywhere in the state under the stadium.
Tutors everywhere. Didn't do no homework. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone.
Oh no, I did homework now. Okay. I did my work. I was a good student.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Again, we couldn't even cheat back then because there was no online to have your girlfriend do your work. Right. You had to have 2.0 to be eligible. You had to have a certain amount of credits to go to the next year. You couldn't even mess around then.
Nope.
Nobody drops out of academics anymore. But back in the day, you remember there was always people that dropped out academics, couldn't play, ineligible. You don't ever see that anymore. Reason. I know what reason is, but your girlfriend does your work online.
We had a study hall every night that was mandatory, and we had tutors there for us, specifically for the football team. So we had people to assist us if we had any problems in any of the subjects we were studying. But we had mandatory study hall every night, Doc. You had to be there, bring your books, do your work, and they looked over your shoulder. Ursula, she's gone on to be with the Lord now, but her name was Ursula Walsh. Ursula ran that program. Yeah, she ran that program like nobody else, and it was fantastic because that's really how I got through school, college.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's dope.
That's great. That's crazy.
So I got
Bert, you introduce yourself.
I'm Bert. I'm from Philadelphia. Bert Grossman. I played defensive end. Went to University of Pittsburgh. Unlike Prater, got drafted by the Checkers in I don't even remember what year. Played there 5 years, then got traded to the Eagles, and then for a 1-year contract. Then I signed as a free agent, went to San Francisco, and hurt my neck in camp and retired.
There we go.
They went here to the door.
Say what?
You want to hear my take on Shedeur?
Yeah, absolutely. Please continue on Shedeur. Absolutely.
I don't think he's that good personally. I think it's the weakest quarterback class I've probably seen in a long time, and he's not the top of it. I think a lot of people are turned off by his attitude. Deion was in my draft class, so I was well aware of Deion's attitude, but Deion was good enough to carry that attitude, and it wasn't even a question. He was that good. People weren't offended by it. People weren't taken aback by it because he was really that guy. He was that good. I think his son tries to emulate that and be like his dad, but he's not the talent his dad was. So I think it rubs people the wrong way. And he gets a lot of attention. I mean, it also helps him. He got his number retired after going 12-13 career at Colorado. I mean, that's a feat in its own right to be a starting quarterback, go 12-13, and get your number retired 2 months after the season ends. That's just
things like 12-13. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that was 13-12, one of the two. But he had
about that too. Let's talk about that too.
Yeah, a 500 record as a starting quarterback, and 2 months after the season, which no one ever does, you get your number retired. Cordell Stewart still doesn't have his number retired. I forget who was the dude that used to wear number 2, the DB that was really good for Colorado, and they didn't retire his. He was a first round.
Westbrook that was there. Who else did they have?
What Don?
Nice receiver, DB. Let me look him up.
His name was Don something. Oh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, and he was a killer.
Was that was back when I played, right? Was that back when I was in high school?
No, I think
college. Back when I was in college.
Early 90s, maybe.
Okay, we're thinking about two different people.
But he won, the Thorpe Award. He was All-American. He was
I was
a
thinking about
first round.
I was thinking about Don Rogers. Don Rogers was his name. He was a safety, and he was actually he died over on a cocaine overdose. So he got drafted. He was in my class. He got drafted high, but before he ever played a game, before he ever reported to his first mini camp or training camp, he overdosed with cocaine and died, which was very, very tragic. Very tragic.
Len Bias.
Yes, same kind of thing. Same kind. Matter of fact, they were both around the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think Don's happened before Len Bias, but then when my rookie year, Len Bias's, or my second year in the league, Len Bias up where with the Celtics took place. He died.
Yeah, I think it was 84, 85 around there.
Yeah, yep, 84, 85. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I got this
sad.
highlighted here about Chad Brown. Here it says, about the Buffalo's Hall of Fame. I would never minimize the impact of number 2 or number 12, like we were just talking about. They are amazing players. The timing is poor for Shedeur to get his number retired. So some laundry there being spilled from Colorado as well. They not all of them are happy about that.
I mean,
Wait a
bottom line,
minute.
it's not earned. It's not earned.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
12 and 13 as a quarterback. That the only reason his number, I didn't even know this. This is the first I heard of his number being retired. Now, this is absolutely amazing. It's ridiculous. And we know the reason his number got retired is Deion for two reasons. Deion and Deion. Deion got his number retired. That's his daddy. But
it's funny because I typically don't have a problem with nepotism. I really don't. I think it's okay. But in this case,
no, nepotism is okay. You're supposed to do that. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people that need to. There's a lot of people that need to do more of that to help their family members.
but I do believe in this case, and like Bert was saying, Deion had a bravado about himself, right? He was that guy. Knew he was that guy. Right. He can go in there and say he's that guy, and it's all said and done. And he proved it with his play. Shedeur is still relatively unproven, definitely at the pro level, barely proven at the big time level, being in the Big Ten.
Right.
And you can say you played in the Pac-12, but the Pac-12 that year, which was very successful, you were very unsuccessful. You didn't do anything. You had some good individual games, but you couldn't rally around your team to win. They blamed it on talent. You got talent. You kind of turned it around. Oh, okay. Me personally, I think he got some big wins. I don't think the reach is that far between him and Cam, except for the physical features, right? Cam's a lot bigger than Shedeur. Otherwise, their play on the field, they both had some pretty good wins. They've had a lot of bad losses. Cam is more mobile than him, but Shedeur is more improvises better than him. That makes sense. Shedeur makes the play extend, and maybe it was because of Travis Hunter, right? Maybe he was an X factor,
right?
Because he's been able to extend a lot of plays and make plays that way. Cam, I didn't see him do that. Cam was like, either I can do it on my own or I can't do it. And Cam's also lost a lot of games making bad decisions. So I'm not sure why the gap. That's why I guess I'm tripping off of why the gap is so far. And like you guys saying, it must be personal. Maybe the stuff outside of football more so than you're great in football. And I know, like you said, Bert, you don't feel he's that kind of guy. He's not good of a quarterback. But based on the quarterbacks we've had coming out this year, he is that guy. He is one of the top guys because we don't really have any of the good ones.
Well, part of the problem is, I think, like when Urban and I played, you didn't make enough money in the pros. You could still be controlled by a coach, even if you're a crazy personality. You're still controlled because you couldn't get, you couldn't get traded, but you sat out. There was no free agency. You might make a couple $100,000 a year, and after taxes, you're not life-changing money. But you bring a guy in that's probably already making $10 million a year, and he's not even out of college. How do you? And you think he's an attitude problem, or you think he's arrogant or way too arrogant? How do you ever control him? How do you develop him? Because you have nothing over him right now. He's making more now than he's going to make in his rookie contract. He's already got a bunch of endorsements. Like, if you don't think the guy is coachable or you don't think you can develop him because of his attitude, back in the old days, you could control him through money. You can't control these guys through money anymore because they already have it.
I agree. That's 100% true.
I want to add something to that, Bert. I think back in the day when we played, there was there was a different relationship between coach and player. The coach was the coach, which was the one who had the authority, which was the one that we listened to, who coached us, and we were the player. And that's how that's how football was played back when we played football. Now, and almost to the point where whatever the coach said, that's what we did. No questions. We trusted him. We believed in him. We believed that he was looking out for our best interest, and whatever plays he called, whatever he did, whatever he had us do, we trusted his opinion. We trusted his football prowess. We trusted him as a coach. Why? Because he had the title and the position of coach. And whatever the coach said, this is how we were raised, is what we did. Now, athletes and coaches, that relationship has been twisted. It's different. You look at the NBA, you got players in the NBA, load management thing going on where they're not playing games and they're telling the coach, I'm not playing tonight. You got the same thing to a certain extent going on in the NFL right now, where players really have an opinion about what's going on, and coaches have to sometimes bend or yield at times when they don't really want to bend or yield. Why? Because, like you said, of the money that's being allocated to these different players, they're making more money than the coaches. It's turned into a big show where they pay a lot of money. They're stars. I mean, Jalen Hurts was named, I saw today, one of the top 100 influential people in the world. Jalen Hurts was named that today. He's a football player.
Mm-hmm.
So you got social media, you got all this stuff going on now that plays into the popularity and the influence that the players have now, which kind of overshadows what the coaches, in terms of position coaches, head coaches, what they can do and the influence they have on players. It's just not the same anymore. It's just not the same anymore. And it's not going to get better. It's going to continue to trend in the direction that it's already trending in.
And I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example real quick. Herbert, you back in our day, could you ever see Josh McDaniels from the Miami Dolphins coaching football in the 80s or 90s or 70s?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Things like that.
No, he was no. I played for Tom Osborne. I played for Raymond Berry. I played for Don Shula. Those cats, man. McDaniels, come on. he couldn't tie their shoes up. He couldn't lace their shoes up.
And that's part of the problem, I think.
Right. And things have changed. It's almost like parenting now. You see parents now, the younger parents, they want to be friends with their kids. They want to be buddies with their kids instead of being mama and being daddy and being the disciplinarian and being the police in the house. They want to be friends with the kids. Oh, I'll wait until they're grown, until they're 18, and then I'll, introduce them to this, but they're my friend. No, that's not the case. You're the mother, you're the father. That's your child. You have to parent that kid. And it's changed like that with players and coaches now. Now coaches are kind of seen like on the same level as players, where they're interacting with the players and they're friends with the players and they're out there laughing with the players, and it's just different now. The coaches aren't the coaches anymore, and the players aren't the players anymore. The players, I think, have elevated themselves somehow, some way, to have more influence than the coaches do.
With that being said, Travis Hunter said, I don't want to go to nowhere where I'm not playing both ways.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he talking to? He's talking to the coaches and the owners. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I would never have said, if I was playing both ways in Nebraska, I would have never said something like that. I don't want to go nowhere where I don't get a chance to play both ways. What are you talking about?
Well,
who is he talking to? He's talking to the coaches.
Yeah.
He's talking to the owners.
So let me bring this up, and I see the comments too. We're going to get into those, so appreciate you guys leaving that. Is it a different mindset and mentality with these newer players? Because again, we've already talked about this. They are probably making as much, if not more money than the coaches, even at this level, at this next level. They're the brand. So the LeBron James, the billionaire, as opposed to, well, JJ's probably a billionaire too. But again, these players have more cachet and more clout and more liquid equity. So now they got a little different mentality as they walk into the locker room.
And I think,
Go ahead, Bert.
but
Go ahead, Bert. Go ahead, Bert.
I think it's not good for the game, but it's not a game anymore. It's a show.
Come on.
Right.
There we go.
I don't think Travis Hunter could play both ways in the SEC, let alone the NFL. It's just, you can't play that weak schedule that was whatever they played last year. You play both ways and you spot play or whatever. It's a whole different, you couldn't do that in the SEC, let alone the NFL. He's not going to do that in the NFL. And it's just a show now for, fantasy football, for betting. I mean, you could bet on the coin toss or what color the Gatorade is. I mean, it's just a big show now. It's a joke. It's great. It's entertaining. You can't hit anybody anymore. You can't do anything. So, I mean, to compare it to when it was a game to now when it's a show is hard to do.
Man, that's the best analogy I've heard actually ever.
Well, you can't compare today's game. I agree with Bert 100%.
100%, man.
You cannot listen. You cannot compare today's players to the players back in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s. They've taken the ability to create an advantage over your opponent physically and intimidate them physically. They've taken that out of the game. Let's look at the quarterbacks. When you look at like the Terry Bradshaws and the Roger Staubachs and even the Troy Aikmans, and during that time, when they threw, if they were in the pocket and they threw the ball, they still got hit. They still got hit and driven into the ground. Joe Theismann. That starts playing in your mind after a while. They can't even graze the quarterback now without getting a penalty. But they could throw the ball, have the ball released, and still get sacked or still get tackled, still get driven to the ground back in the day. Well, guess what that does to a quarterback? He keeps getting hit like that. We're all human. It starts having a negative impact on him. So what does he do? He starts rushing a little bit with the ball. He's a little more inaccurate with the ball. They've started to intimidate the quarterback. Why? By hitting him. You can't do that anymore. I was watching the Super Bowl, and who was it? A.J. Brown was in the slot. And A.J. Brown, he was split out to the right in the slot. And when the ball was snapped, he ran across the field to the left side, caught the ball on the left side, and ran in for a touchdown. He ran, Bert, he ran across the field about 5 or 6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and was la-di-da, didn't have to keep his head on the swivel, just ran through there nice and casually and caught the ball. Back in the day, as a receiver, you couldn't run across the middle like that without a linebacker trying to take your head off. You better keep your head on the swivel because the linebacker was taught to knock anything out that comes across the middle around there. 5, 6 yards deep, you get smacked. You getting smacked.
So, I mean, there's two things you guys hit on big time. The game is deteriorating. It's not a game no more, it's a show. And I think this draft, my opinion only, in this draft, this is one of the weaker drafts we've had. Not just quarterback-wise, but all the way around. Maybe edge rushers are pretty good. I haven't seen the third tier. Those guys are pretty good. But the physicality of the game has gone away, obviously. All they want is speed, and speed they can make moves somewhere to make a move, to be elusive. Not to be physical, be elusive. With that being said, that running back from Boise State, who was the physical runner, fast, but not very fast. He's more of a power runner in a small man's body. How do you think he's going to fare in the league, based on you guys' opinion?
You talking about Genty?
Was it Ashton is his name?
Yeah. Ashton.
Who swore he was going to win the Heisman. Yeah, he swore he was going to win.
Well, they have him in this draft that I have, a couple of drafts, mock drafts. They have him going to the Giants. I'll tell you what, if he goes to the Giants, you want to know how he's going to do? He's going to do worse than Saquon did. Because first of all, the Giants they got to rebuild. They're down to 0. Just lost their quarterback this past year. They lost Saquon during the offseason, prior to the season. They don't have anything. They got Neighbors there. who's a phenomenal wide receiver, but I think unless they get a great quarterback who can get him the ball, his talent's going to be wasted. He's going to be wasted. He broke the rookie records this year, did a great job. But they were throwing him the ball a lot. But for Ashton to come there as a running back, listen, that's a position you can't be messing around with, man. You got to have a decent offensive line. Otherwise, your running back's not going to last long at all. Not at all. You do need a running game. Football is football. Yes, you do need a running game to complement your passing game, although they're passing the football a lot more than they did in the past. But you still need a running game. The Eagles proved that this year, and they dominated pretty much most of the year and went on into the Super Bowl and just actually killed the Chiefs, which was a surprise. But they did it with a running game. So, I mean, unless they get creative and they get a few more linemen that can protect this kid or at least open up holes for him so that he's not getting hit at the line of scrimmage and he's not receiving contact until he gets to the second or third level on a frequent basis, he's not going to last long. Not with the Giants. The Giants are in shambles right now.
Well, I got him going to the Raiders. What you think about that, Bert, if he goes to the Raiders?
It's weird because it's we've been taught the last 3 or 4 years that the running back position isn't valued anymore. You don't need it anymore, which is obviously wrong. I think you do need it, but Irving's right. You look at Saquon to say he's the weapon, so running backs are back. You look at Derrick Henry and say running backs are back. They're not back. They never left. They have dominant offensive line. That's why they're back. So, like to your point, you could be Barry Sanders. Well, he could do it probably, but anybody other than
Barry did it without a line.
Anybody other than Barry Sanders, you're wasting the pick because you're just going to kill him and wear him down. He's going to be just like Saquon was in New York. I mean, it's not like Saquon had this, all of a sudden he got all this talent. All of a sudden he got a good offensive line and he got a good play caller and he had a good quarterback, and it makes a difference.
Yep.
I think sadly he'll probably go to some place that has a terrible offensive line and it'll ruin him and he won't reach his full potential. And that's the part of things, we call these kids busts, but they're not really busts. They're in the wrong system. You put them behind a bad offensive line and anybody's a bust. And that's one of the hardest things. There's obviously busts in the draft, but I mean, a lot of these kids aren't busts. They were failed by the team or the organization. It wasn't them. And he'll be one of them if he goes to a bad team or a bad offensive line. He'll be one of them.
So what do you think about the possibility of him going to Dallas?
Oh,
that's
another bad team. Another bad team.
Dallas.
There's the latest conversation about him going to Dallas. So
Bert is 100% right when it comes to, when you have a bad record the season before, you get higher picks. And the reason they do that is because, if you weren't winning, that means you're not as good as the teams who are winning. So let's give you more talent or access to better talent next year or the next following years so that you can improve your team. What continues to rub me the wrong way are these teams who continue to have these bad seasons. They continue to have access to the higher draft picks and free agency and all that kind of stuff, and they don't get better. They don't get better. The Cleveland Browns ain't getting better. Tennessee was doing okay a little while ago. The Giants, they're not getting better. The Patriots were good for a while. These teams continue. Jacksonville continues to struggle, and they're going to continue to get the Jets, the Panthers. The Saints were good for a while, but they're struggling now. The Bears, when the last time, 1985, when I was in the league, that's the last time the Bears were good. Come on. And they continue to get these high draft choices, but what's going on? Why aren't they improving the franchise? Why isn't the franchise turning things around in terms of wins and losses? That starts with ownership and management.
And you said, and there has to be some kind of plan. It can't be, hey, I'm going to take this generational wide receiver, but I don't have a quarterback. So why does it matter?
Right.
Or I'm going to take a generational running back. I'm going to take a generational running back, but I don't have an offensive line. Or I'm going to take this generation DB, but I got no pass rush. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter. That's right.
Hey, you know what, man? Common sense ain't common, right?
No.
For a lot of people. That's just common right there. All right,
And
so
I think the other part is nobody manages expectations anymore. You have to be realistic with these real bad teams. Come in and say, I need a 5-year plan to make this better and have the right person in place. But everybody's out after 2 years and these teams are so terrible and not built. The rosters are so terrible. You can't turn it around in a year or two. There's no transfer portal where you can bring in 30 guys in the NFL. You can only bring in so many and you can't turn it around. You have to have some time to build that roster.
I agree. I agree. But you know what though? With the way things are going with the league and the collective bargaining with the TV stations, that's what they're banking on. No time, because the Jets are notorious. They've had the number 1 draft pick for I don't know how long, and they can't turn it around. They can go spend some money. They spend some money and still can't turn it around. So
it's bad decisions. They never should have gotten Aaron Rodgers last year. They never. Just think if they didn't do that.
Come on.
And they focused on the draft choice and focused on the positions that they need to strengthen defensively and offensively. They would be better now than they are right now. They would be better had they not spent that time putting all that effort and energy into Aaron Rodgers.
I think that
was a bad choice.
I would argue.
Let me give you one more point. How bad this is. I mean, if you just look at the Jets, common sense things. You look a little deeper. You take Zach Wilson at number 2. If you don't know a Mormon kid from BYU is get torn up by New York media, will not make it. If you don't know that, talking to this kid, I don't think he was a bad quarterback. I think they absolutely ruined him. I think media ruined him. Everybody ruined him. And if you couldn't see that from a Mormon kid coming from Utah and go playing at BYU, then you're not looking.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think
you're right.
Their management and ownership has been so bad over the years, but they want to keep up with the Joneses to make investments on what's hot to sell the first 4 game tickets, right, and be on social media and go. I would argue with you. I think Aaron Rodgers, before he got hurt that first year, I think he was a wise pick. I think that year off and coming back,
that's hard to call though. He only played 5 minutes.
It was worth it. It was worthless. I mean, it ended up being a worthless investment for them, right? And set them back another 3 or 4 years.
I'm a preacher. I'm a preacher, but I'm gonna say this: Aaron Rodgers is an asshole.
I would agree, and I don't think the Steelers take him. And if the Steelers take him, it's another team who manage quarterbacks and Roethlisberger.
Aaron Rodgers is not good for a team. He's not a team guy. He's an asshole.
Now that's going to be chopped up. Put that.
Hey, you know that's going to be cut up, and you know that's going to be all over the internet in about 2 hours.
So what you guys know, and I know you guys know a lot about the draft and everything. And I'm gonna name off the top 5 teams, and I want to get you guys' pick at that role. And we'll go in reverse. We'll go in order. Tennessee Titans got the first pick.
Right.
You guys were the GMs of a team. Who you snagging first?
You want to go?
I don't. I'm going to say Cam Ward, but I like that kid, the Abdul kid from Penn State you brought up, Irving. It's hard to say.
Carter.
Yeah, I don't want to be that old head again, but I'll go back to the year I got drafted. Everybody knew the top 5 was going to be. It wasn't even a miss. It wasn't even a thought. It was going to be Troy Aikman first. It was going to be Tony Manders second. It was going to be Barry Sanders third. 4th was going to be Dion, and 5th was going to be Derek Thomas. And everybody knew it. Now, and maybe that's because it was a strong draft and everybody knew the top 5. There wasn't even a conversation that it was going to be out of that order, which is crazy to think Manders got drafted over Barry Sanders or any of the other behind him. But now this is one of the weird drafts where you can't even name. When was the last time you couldn't name the number 1 pick in a draft? I mean, exactly. That's how aggressive I think. It's always at least number 1. And if it's a strong draft, you could pick the top 5, even the top 10 maybe. But this one, you can't pick number 1.
Yeah. Who you got, Irvin? Number 1 right now.
It's got to be Cam. I mean, it's the Titans. They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
They need somebody that's going to be the future.
Okay. Wait. Pause. They need a quarterback, but that kid from Liberty they got 2 years ago was pretty damn good coming out. What happened?
Then if he was pretty good coming out and he hasn't developed. There's a number of reasons that could be the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching could be the reason. The players he has around him could be the reason. Because again, you can have all the talent in the world. You can be the best player in the league, but if you're on the worst team in the league, you don't have any blocking, you don't have anybody working with you, you lack in those areas, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be successful. I think the Titans obviously are looking at Cam to build whatever it is they're going to do, particularly offensively, around him moving forward. I think it's a great move for them. I think I think, losing Derrick Henry and, things going downhill for them this past year, particularly in the win-loss records. This is what they need. And any team in the NFL, don't get me wrong, with every team, not with any team, but with every team, particularly as we get into the next few years, as these quarterbacks who are agile and mobile and athletic, the most important position on the field for any team in the NFL is the quarterback. And if you don't have a viable quarterback, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle.
Yeah.
And that's why every team will take a shot on a quarterback because, like you said, you have to have it. And there's only one position that can make a difference from bad to good or even mediocre. Look at Washington in 1 year. And it's quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying with Tennessee, they got Air McNair. The only thing changed in Tennessee was they got Air McNair. And all of a sudden they got a little good and they built momentum. But if you don't have a quarterback, I mean, you're just always going to be, right. You could be like the Steelers and say, we never had a losing season. But what does that do to you? That gets you in the middle of the draft your whole time, and you can never get that great quarterback.
Why you mess with my Steelers? We trying to win this year. We got rid of us, so we trying to come up.
And remember this the drafting. Now, when it's free agency, when there are trades and guys being moved, players being moved from one team to another in free agency, that's a whole different animal than the draft. Because in free agency, these guys who are free agents have already played in the league. So you know what they're capable of doing or what they have the potential of being able to do in the NFL. These guys who are being drafted, they're coming out of college. They've never played in the NFL. So, it's a shot in the dark. You're taking a chance. It's not an exact science. So, I mean, yeah, you see what they've been able to accomplish at the college level, but the NFL level, the professional level is a whole different story. So guys may come in that you thought had a lot of talent, that did well, performed well, were elite at the college level, but that might not be the same for them at the pro level. I mean, look at the Heisman Trophy winners that have gone on to play professional football. They were elite. They were the best player that year in the NCAA. In college football. And a lot of those Heisman Trophy winners come into the NFL and are not real successful. They're not real successful. So it's still a shot in the dark when you're drafting these kids and you're asking them to come in, you're paying them a lot of money. And then, like we were mentioned earlier, some of these kids are coming in like Shedeur. He's going to make less money in his rookie contract than he was making in college.
Yeah.
And the other part is, I guess, the hardest thing to do is because you look at college and you get a certain amount of defenses. Every college defense has a weak link you can exploit. You get in the NFL and there's no weak link to exploit anymore at any position. You're going to get 1,000 different looks at defense, and you have to process everything like that where you didn't have to do that in college. But it's hard to actually measure that. Who's going to be able to process it at the next level because it's such a difference. I don't think people realize the complexity of an NFL defense if you have a good coordinator as opposed to college, because you can only do certain things in college. But it's a whole different game. And the other part to your point, the only free agent quarterbacks you ever see are the ones that didn't pan out or the ones that are over the hill. You're never going to get any elite quarterback at free agency. I mean, that's just not happening.
Right. All right, number 2, you guys on the clock. If you're the Cleveland Browns and you're the GM, who you got at number 2?
Man, I don't even know who's in this draft. I got to wait for
Well, listen.
That's how bad this draft is.
Look, Cleveland made the playoffs in 2023, right? They made the playoffs in
With Joe
2023.
Flacco.
They had with 5 different quarterbacks that year starting at some point. Joe Flacco was one of them. Now Joe
I can't
Flacco
even
is
say his
back
name
with
with a straight face.
Cleveland. Yeah, Joe Flacco's back with Cleveland. They also have Kenny Pickett, who was with the Eagles this past year.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be all right at the quarterback position. Eventually, yeah, they're going to have to move on and draft somebody or get somebody younger. But for this year, to be able to establish another solid player on defense, they got to get an edge rusher, Abdul Carter. I think they'll be okay at the quarterback position this year. Will they go to the Super Bowl and win it? No, because they're rebuilding. But I think they can win some games this year with Flacco, with Pickett as the backup. Flacco does well. As an old man, he's still doing well. But I think they can't pass up on Abdul Carter. He's going to be like a Jalen Carter that the Philadelphia Eagles have.
And not to go off track again, because I don't know who's in the draft, but it goes back to the point. Cleveland was good. Cleveland thought they were missing one piece. They thought it was Deshaun Watson. That went sideways, and the whole franchise went sideways. They were only missing one piece, quarterback. Yep. And that shows how important it is, because they got that wrong, and it destroyed the whole franchise. And they were wrong.
I never thought Deshaun Watson was that dude, though. I don't know why they paid him that money. Forget all the other stuff, football-wise. I never thought he was that. Did he play that well prior to them? I never thought he was that dude. He was never that impressive to me.
He wasn't $200 million impressive.
No. Guaranteed. $200 million guaranteed. $240 guaranteed.
Yeah. No,
that's how he can afford all them therapists. Okay. let me get back off camera. Hold on. I'm sorry.
You need to post that. That's what you need to post. You need to post that, Hicks. Post that.
Yeah, you need to chop that one up too. That's a good one right there.
Take myself off
I'm gonna keep it. All right, so we got the Giants, the Patriots, and you don't have to say the player. Just say which side of the ball you would go to before. Giants next. Who you got, Bert? You the GM. Giants, what you need?
I'm gonna get Gentry just so I can ruin them, because that's what the Giants do. Okay. You know that if the Giants, it's got to be a bust, so I'm not going to get it right, because they're going to pick somebody that they're going to ruin, and it's going to be over.
I got you. Who you got?
I can't believe. First of all, I can't believe Russell Wilson's over the Giants, isn't he?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. I can't believe that. What's he doing?
He ain't doing nothing.
I can't believe Russell Wilson is with the Giants.
Lord have mercy.
Listen, in my opinion, and I watched the Giants. I played against the Giants. This last few years, the Giants, whatever they can get, I think the Giants should take the best athlete available. It doesn't matter what position. Take the best, whatever you believe is the best athlete that's available when you get to pick number 3, and take that cat, because they need help everywhere.
Travis Hunter. So you say Travis Hunter?
If he's available, take him, because they need help everywhere. Now, I feel bad for Travis Hunter if he does get drafted to the Giants, because he's not going to have a winning season. It's going to be a while before they have a winning season, if they do ever have a winning season while he's on the Giants. So, but the Giants are just a mess right now. They're a mess right now, and they're seasons away from having any kind of success.
And again,
go ahead.
Hold on. I'm going to say that. If they take Travis Hunter, he'll get ruined there too, because he's in a little bubble in Colorado. His girl is just playing him like nobody's business. You know what they're going to do to him in New York? They will tear him up. It'll be like Zach Wilson. They'll tear him up in New York, man. He can't go to a team like that. He got to go to like Jacksonville or something.
Yeah.
Small town.
I agree. Yeah. That media's going to eat him up alive.
Yeah, hold on. Don't just gloss over that right there. Okay, so I got to quit my sound bites in too, because all right, all this controversy and drama with Travis and his girl right now in little old Colorado. Don't let her mess around. Okay, I don't want to talk bad about nobody. Don't let her mess around and get to New York.
New York? What? Oh my gosh! Yeah,
I act a fool. As many times I've been in. Listen,
what? Yeah,
or Miami. She had a man crying.
Yes, that's a distraction right there.
Listen, they can't. No, you can't do all of that in New York. This is going to be an interesting draft,
man. He not gonna be able to focus. He not gonna be able to locked in if he go to New York. If he gonna have to make some business decisions. Okay.
Big time.
Wow.
Big time.
Travis will go to a bad team. It's inevitable. Feel bad for him, but that's the way it is. Oh my goodness, I see him.
Well, I mean, the bad teams are the ones who have the first picks.
Yeah.
And that's why
number 4.
that's how bad it is. You don't even know who these top teams are. They need so much. So, Irving said, you take the best athlete. If you don't need a quarterback, you should always take the best athlete in the top 10. Because you need so much. That's why you're there.
Right. Yep.
What about New England? What they need? What do they need?
Yeah, number 4, New England, bad team.
What do your boys New England need? They're bad. They bad. New
England.
Yeah,
they need to take the best athlete. Whoever's available when it's their pick at 4, they need to take the best athlete because again, they're hurting offensively, they're struggling defensively, all around the board. You can't name somebody last year on the Patriots who shined, who played well. Name somebody. Nobody. Can't name anybody.
No.
They have need all across the board. So with New England, they're just like New York. They're just like, well, Cleveland, again, like I said, they're a little bit different. They have a couple of seasoned quarterbacks there, so they'll be all right. Tennessee has the golden egg. They can get the quarterback that they need, that they believe is the best quarterback because they have the first pick to start that franchise off in the right direction from that point forward. But these other teams here in the first, 6, 7 picks in the draft, they just take the best freaking athlete.
But to what you just said, this next team, Jacksonville, number 5, and this is the last one go. Jacksonville did that, and it seems like it's been horrible after horrible with Trevor Lawrence after that rookie year. Had that great rookie year, led him close to the playoffs, and then now I don't know what happened. I don't know. He had the same coach, except the coach would change 2 or 3 years while he was in, and then everything's just been all hell for him lately. The whole team, it's just been bad. What do they need?
I don't think they need a quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence can be that guy that breaks through and gets them into the playoffs and gets deep into the playoffs and possibly into the NFL. They need a better. Who's their coach now? Doug is gone. Who's their coach now? Who's the Jacksonville Jaguars coach? Does anybody know?
I'll get it. Go ahead, talk. I'll get it for you.
Oh yeah, we find out.
I think it's coaching with him because he is a phenomenal athlete. He's a big guy and he can play ball. He's had success. He's tasted success. He knows what it's all about. He knows what it takes to be successful. So I think it's coaching for him. I don't think Doug was able to connect with him. Doug Peterson, I'm talking about. I don't think Doug was able to connect with him like he was able to connect with Carson Wentz and Foles up here in Philadelphia. Because he just didn't, things just didn't flow the way they did up here in Philly for Doug. And plus Doug took that year off and then came back and started trying to coach again. I think that hurt Doug as well, his rhythm as a coach. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but anytime you take some time off and try to come back, things change in the NFL. Things change a lot in just a season of time. And I don't think Doug was up to par with his coaching. This is just my opinion, with his coaching after having that year off.
Look at this dude. You gonna tell me they're gonna be good?
Yeah, that's right. This the Duval dude. Yeah, come on. That's why we don't like him. That's why we don't have
that. That's the new coach.
That's the. You remember the meme when he was being
introduced? Oh no, they're going backward. They're going backwards. He don't even look right.
He's 15 years experience. He looked 15.
Liam Cohen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't never suited up. He ain't never played. That man, okay.
Wow.
He's under the
his name sound like his name sound like Elon Musk.
Terrible. I mean, look at him.
His name sound like Elon Musk.
I can't line up. I can't run through a wall for this cat. I'm
not with that look. My gosh.
I think that's what people miss it. That's another part. I know I keep going off draft because I don't want to talk about this draft. So he comes from Detroit, and you get this every year. You get these offense coordinators great on X's and O's because they're under an alpha coach. They're under an alpha head coach that controls that whole culture, that whole environment. These guys just have to do their X's and O's and don't do anything else. Then they step up and they got to control the culture. They got to control the players, the egos. They didn't play, they didn't do anything, and it all falls apart. But they think because they're a good coordinator, they're going to be a great head coach. But that is
Right.
Yeah, I think Bert, you're 100% right. I agree with you 100%. I think always the team takes on an indicative attitude of their coach. And if you look like a soft coach, you're going to play like a soft team. If you're going to be a hard-ass coach like that coach in Detroit, you're going to play hard-ass football.
Yeah, like that coach. Yep.
And I mean, Mike Tomlin, like
Fourth
you said,
down,
they
he
may be
going for it
mediocre
every time.
but they play hard the way they're going to play. I think they just lackluster talent. But I think you're indicative of your coach, your attitude. Yeah. I agree with you. Offensive coordinators, they just X's and O guys. And all of a sudden, you put them in this position to manage attitudes and control mentality and control all those different things. And a lot of them, like you said, they fail. So
most of them.
I don't know what the NFL is going. I don't know which way the direction they're going in, man. It seems like they're just getting softer and softer every year and don't.
And it's much more complex for coaches today than it used to be. Back when we played, when Bert and I played, a coach would come in the room and talk or say what he had to say, and that was it. There wasn't no backlash. There was no response. It's what the coach said. Now the coach, he's got to feel his way through. He's got to tiptoe through the tulips, try to figure out the right thing to say and say it the right way because the players might get offended. No. Things are so much more difficult now when it comes to players and the coaches in the NFL, even in professional sports, than it was back in the day. And it's just a tricky thing to try to deal with as a coach. Because
why do you have to be that way in the NFL? Because there's nowhere else to go. This is it. Either you play in college, you conform to my rules, you conform to the way I tell you to do things, and go my rail. Because you're getting paid.
The money has changed it, bro. The money has changed it because these cats. Okay, back when I played, making a couple $100,000. If you didn't play because you were hurt, or if you didn't play for whatever reason, it wasn't necessarily a big deal. When you got a guy making $50 million a year, a quarterback making $50 million a year, he's got it. First of all, his backup's not going to be that good. So he's got to be on the field. He's got to be on the field if we have any chance of being successful. And remember, players get coaches hired and players get coaches fired. So if the team is not playing well, guess what? I'm going to lose my job as a coach. So there comes a point in time where there's a compromise by the coach when it comes to what it is he needs to say or what he needs to do or what needs to happen between him and that player.
Okay. But I've heard stories about Shula. Shula wasn't liked by his players, but you guys respected him enough to do what he asked you to do.
Shula,
this generation now has more control, right? They have more control of what's going on. I'm not understanding why, because there's nowhere else to go. Once you leave the NFL, there's no other options. That's it. You either play the way we want you to play, go to another team, you have a problem there, get your ass out the league. We'll find another one. Because there's nowhere else. This is it. This is the top. This is the apex.
The problem is you just saw Liam Cohen or whatever. It's dudes like that. I mean, it's McDaniels. The Dolphins. It's the Jets or the Bears' new coach. I mean, when I got drafted, we go through our draft interviews or whatever. It's Mike Ditka. It's Shula. It's Tom Landry. It's Chuck Noll. It's not this goofy vacuum salesman that does X and O's and plays Madden and draws the stuff up on his computer. And all of a sudden thinks he can be a head coach and lead these guys and these, alpha ego guys and have a culture. He can't do that. I can already predict you he can't do that, and he won't do it. And Jacksonville will get worse and worse, and the Bears will get worse and worse.
It's almost like you have kids coaching kids.
Wow.
And I guess my question is, why has it gotten to that point? It should be still alpha coach male, the Bill Belichick's of the world. I'm going to do it my way and conform.
Well, Bill Belichick winning right now.
We're going to be successful doing it my way. Yeah. Or the NFL's going to, Like you said, get your ass out of here. Get out.
Well, I
Because I'm
think
going to make
everybody.
sure it's successful. I don't
I think
understand why, and I'm going to call them these new prima donnas that are coming into the league because they're prima donnas because they've already got their money. They think they're better than what people say they are because they don't know. They're not as tough as the game is used to be as well. And they think they can control things. A la the Bears quarterback last year, talking about, you got to give me stock if you want to draft me. Where in the freak do you get the audacity to say, I need to give you stock or equity in my
Yeah,
exactly,
no, that's true.
because I'm going to
exactly.
draft you?
Who
Like, why
makes
am I even
statements
negotiating?
like that?
Yeah, why am I even negotiating anything with you? Go play for the Canadian League. You can go do that. That's what you can go do. I'm saying, when
What
does the
kid
NFL
coming
go
out of
bowls
college
again?
makes
That's
a
what I'm
statement
saying.
like that? I need stock if I'm gonna play with you. What the heck?
And nobody in the history of
So
the
I'll go
game.
back to it. You think he could say that to Mike Ditka? Mike Ditka's still going to draft him?
No,
No,
not
absolutely
at all.
not. Yes.
And
Or
that's how it's
not,
changed.
or
That's
not,
what I'm saying.
not even during that regime of time
Yeah.
or that
Yeah,
regime of
that's what I'm
When did
coaching.
that
No.
curve happen? When did that curveball get thrown and everybody started going to it? Because I can understand if there's competitors, right? If the NFL had a viable competitor where they can go to a different league and now they can battle you or battle you in negotiations. There is no other negotiation. You either play for me and play under my regime or you don't play at all. Bottom line. Because the money's there. I'm not talking about money negotiation. I'm talking about my style of play, the way we're supposed to do things, the way we're going to do things. I'm not going to deal with this prima donna BS that was coming into the league. You're going to conform to what we need to do in order to be successful. That's not happening no more. Guys
Well, that's
are coming
because
in the league.
they're paying them first, then instructing them.
Yeah.
But you have to
And you
because the
can retire
contract is
off
now
your rookie
paying.
contract now.
Well, yeah, you got to pay them first. Yeah, you got the NIL is driving up the pay for one
Yeah.
reason, and then just because CBA keeps and the television money keeps increasing. Yeah, salaries continue to increase, but they're paying the players first, then they're trying to instruct them, which that's backwards. For me now, I work for a week, then I get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Then I work for a week, then I get paid, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the church. I work in the church, and I get paid at the end of the week after I work.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid ahead of time now. Guaranteed money, millions of dollars.
Regardless of your
And
performance.
remember, these cats are in my eye. I'm 62 years old. These are kids. These are 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't even listen. I can't even imagine at 25 years old making $50 million a year.
Yeah.
I was born when I was supposed to be born. Because if I was playing right now,
Man said he was born when he was born.
I'd probably be acting a fool.
There'd have been some consequences, boy.
Yeah,
if
I'd
Irv
probably
had
be
50
acting-
million cash in his pocket.
Yeah, it'd be a
Lord have
problem.
mercy.
Be a problem.
You imagine just getting $2 million a year in college.
Yep. Well, yeah. I probably would have killed myself in college. The way I was when I was 17 years old. Oh my God, 18 years old. If I had $2 million, what? Man, I never.
And you know,
Couldn't have told
and that was
him
the
nothing.
80s. You and I would have been like that Tony Montana scene where he got that big pile of coke right on the desk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh man, that part ain't going on the net. Don't use that part.
Oh, that's going everywhere. Come on, you can't buy this right here, ladies. That's why I'm just being
Listen,
quiet.
it's just the truth. It's the truth.
It is the truth. It is the truth.
I came up. When I was 17 years old and went to college, I went to college at, August 13th, 1980. I was still, I didn't turn 18 till September. Man, I had no direction. I was undisciplined. I had no type of guidance at all. Bruh, I would have killed $2 million? You crazy. I would have killed.
I mean, what you're saying
I would have
is
killed
what's happening
myself
now
and some other people.
For messing with your money.
Wait, could you even get coke in Nebraska?
Oh, yeah. We got coke in Nebraska. Yes, we
You
did.
did.
Oh, yeah. It
I
snows
think
a lot
these
in
young kids are
Nebraska,
in the same
bro.
See, there he go.
Snows deep in Nebraska.
Yeah,
Reading
I
between the
think they're in the same
lines.
situation. I think they have no direction because and the NCAA doesn't give a rat's ass about what happens to them,
Oh
and the
no,
NFL
no,
obviously doesn't give a rat's
no,
ass either.
no, no,
Take your money,
no.
figure it out, and if you swim, you swim. If you're not, you just sink, and you be like the rest of them.
Right,
So
right.
that part right there is kind of disheartening. These kids, you guys paved the way for them to get this money. Let's be all honestly. The 80s, 90s guys, you guys fought all this time for college players to get paid the way they were supposed to get paid. Now that
Right.
they are getting paid the way they're supposed to get paid, this generation and then the last generation this year is taking it way out of control. It goes way far beyond what we
Mm.
ever imagined. And we just keep blaming it. Oh, it's this and it's that. No, it's lack of structure and also lack of accountability, right?
Right,
If
right.
I'm like Nico, you're not worth $2 million on the market, man. Now I'm not saying don't get your money. If you can go get $4 million to do the same exact job somewhere else, by all means, go do it. But
But
I'm
but but
saying,
but but watch this. Watch
yeah,
this. Let's keep an eye on Nico because I'm not going to guarantee it, but I would not be surprised if he gets that $4 million.
I wouldn't be surprised either, to be honest with you.
And see, that's the problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem. They go out and they make decisions. They do what they want to do, and they still get rewarded. They still get rewarded.
Mm.
Well, you know what's crazy? This is a crazy story. So I was following the story. Tennessee is having a harder time trying to sign a quarterback now. Not even a top quarterback, just a quarterback that's mediocre. They can't find one coming out of high school for less than $1 million.
I just told you that. I
Yeah,
just
you
told
said that.
I
I
just
was
told
looking
you
at them
that.
on the nail.
They're
That
gonna
not only that,
pay.
but though you saying that, I'm saying they looking at what they said they can't find one in their region that was considerably done for less than offering $1 million for his back for a guy that's to come in to be the backup.
You have to offer at the college level an average quarterback coming out of high school. You've got to be able to give him at least $1 million. That's what's happening in the NFL. I mean the NCAA. That's what's happening at the college level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is even saying in the NIL. This isn't just high school. This is NIL too. They can't find nobody that's decency to get a backfield quarterback for less than $1 million.
Wow.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem. You get a high school quarterback for $1 million. If he doesn't pan out, you're stuck with him. If he does pan out, somebody will buy him off you. So
Right,
what's
somebody take him. He go to the highest bidder. It's
I don't even know how that's possible though.
Like I said, I think with this NIL, they need to establish a rule that okay, get paid all you want to get paid, but if you transfer in the portal, you go in the portal, you go to another team, you can only make half of what you made the year before.
Oh, you about to
That'll
start
stop-
some trouble right now.
Well, that'll stop all that foolishness.
You about to start. So, Montel, let me ask you this right here, and I'm gonna put him on the spot. Could you see this man right here with $50 million?
Well, that's a long time ago, Doc.
Huh? I'm gonna pull up some old archives. Could you see this man right here? I'm gonna find one of you too, Bert. With $50 million as he's walking down the halls of the Cornhusker.
195.
My Lord.
That was 195.
Slim and trim, bro. Slim and trim.
Yes, that's 10 pounds ago.
Is that double breasted?
Was the suit double breasted? No, I had a vest. It was a 3-piece.
God,
man.
Herringbone.
That was a 3-piece. Listen, I remember that suit because my mama bought me that suit. I saw it. I loved it. I was like, Mama, I got to get this suit. And that's a senior picture right there from high school. That's not a college picture. I didn't take that picture when I was in college. That's my senior year in high school. My mama bought me that suit for my senior year picture.
Yeah, you look like if you had a couple extra dollars in your pocket, there'd have been some issues in Nebraska. You just look like it in your eyes. I'm gonna leave that alone. Chris said, "I got a wingback. Who is the handsome devil?" I see you, Miss Jill. Appreciate you for jumping in. Okay, I just had to throw a little curveball.
That's Billy D. Williams right there.
That's what that is right there. Okay, I'm gonna find one of you, Bert, here in a second. But
I just wanted y'all to validate. So in the Knox News is where they're talking about paying for the backup quarterback for not whatever
Knox News. Okay, yeah.
For Nico, and they're saying their budget. They haven't landed anybody. They got somebody visiting, but their budget is $1 million. It's $1 million to bring somebody in to back him up. So some guy that wasn't going to start out of the portal coming to Knoxville to go get $1 million. It's probably not going to be that good.
I mean,
Man,
that's just unbelievable. And again, you also have the parents who are involved with these kids when it comes to the portal, when it comes to the NIL, because they're able to have access to that money now, and it broadens it. Meaning, you're only going to have so many athletes come out of college into the pros in terms of the draft. Okay. But now my kid has an opportunity to go to college and to make some NIL money. Is he good enough to go to the pros? Probably not. But I can make this money while he's in college.
Yeah.
So you got that mentality going on too on the backside of the kid with the parents.
Oh, I think the worst thing that can happen is an 18-year-old getting $2 million. That's the worst thing that happened.
His
Especially for family that
parents
comes
are
from
going
nothing.
crazy. He's getting pressure from his parents. He's getting pushed by his parents, not just pressure, but then his own desires and his own immaturity is playing in this whole role with all this money. Yeah, it's got the girls trying to. Oh, he got $2 million. Come on,
I think
it's probably crazy.
That's a lot going on, especially from anybody coming from any inner city that really didn't have very much. I mean, even if you had much, that's a lot going on. For somebody to give you $2 million,
if he come to the inner city, he ain't had no $2 million.
No. So I just think there's a lot of layers going on for these young men. I mean, some of their lives are going to change. Some of their lives are going to stay the same because they're already millionaires going into the draft. I don't even know how you're going to have negotiations with a player that already has millions of dollars, because now the NFL really doesn't have leverage. It doesn't have any leverage.
Right.
The money's not a leverage. I mean, more money is always good, but I mean, if he's already made $10 million in college, okay, and you're a low round draft pick, shit, I don't want. I'll take my time to sign with you.
Listen, I'm staying in college. Like I said, I'm staying in college. I'm gonna stay back here in college and work the streets.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna see. We're gonna leave that alone. I'm
gonna stay in college and work the streets.
He said it worked.
Now, another one, back in our day, you could only hold out so long your rookie year because you were broke.
That's right.
These dudes like to say, Montel, how do you press them? Because they're not broke. How do you press them to sign?
You don't. You can't. You can't press them. If you want, who you got drafted? You got drafted by the Chargers, right? Who you drafted by?
Yeah.
Who you got drafted by the Chargers, right? If Bert Grossman would have had $10 million in his account and got drafted by the Chargers, would that negotiation have been completely different when you met with their GM?
Different.
Yeah, especially since they only paid me $250,000.
Exactly. Right?
There he is.
Oh man.
There was some other pictures, Bert, and I'm not going to show them other pictures, but I'm just going to put this one on, cover of Sports Illustrated.
What were the other pictures?
I'm trying to stay in good graces, man. Listen, next time I go to a game down there in San Diego, I don't want Bert sicking nobody on. I don't want him sicking any of his linebackers on me. So
man,
how long you going to talk? My wife's about to divorce me.
There it is. There it is right there. We had to bring this plane in. We're gonna bring this plane in right now.
No, I just want our fans to understand that we got some real guys that are very insightful to how this whole thing works. But listen, from a fan standpoint, they see it from player standpoint, and Bert's he's kind of in the GM world when he works with the indoor football league, so they understand the ins and outs of how this thing works. The draft is just one piece of it, and now we're throwing in the NIL, college football, that landscape the way it is, the lack or better of talent there is, because I don't think the talent's that good. I think this is probably the weakest draft I've seen in a long, long time. How this all plays out to a billion-dollar business, a multi-billion-dollar business.
And listen, just I want to add on to what Bert said earlier. He said, and you said it too, it's a show. The NFL is a show now. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you let's look at the draft now compared to how the draft was run and how people viewed the draft back when I came in, back in 1984, when I was drafted. Man, the draft they sell tickets. Hundreds, thousands of people come now. I mean, it's in Green Bay this year. They make money They make millions of dollars, the NFL, on the draft. It's a big show. It's a big fashion show. It's a whole big fiasco that they have now. Listen, when I was drafted in 1984, on the day of the draft, I had already signed my contract before the draft. I was already signed. I probably had already spent about 25 grand before the draft. But the day of the draft, draft was in New York. They sent a limousine down to my house in Mount Holly, or my mother's house, my grandmother's house in Mount Holly, New Jersey. My mother and I got in the limousine. We went up to New York, all right, which was probably like an hour and 15-minute ride, maybe an hour, 20 minutes ride. We get out of the limousine. I think we probably had an hour or maybe 2 hours before the actual draft started. They put us in this room back in the back, had little probably coffee, some snacks, something like that. When the draft started, came out of the room, I went up on the stage because I was the first pick. They announced me. I put my hat on, shook the commissioner's hand, walked off the stage, did one interview with one local TV station, got back in the limousine, and went back home. That was it.
Yeah, times changed now.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Now it's a show. Everything's turned into a show. Why? Because show entertainment generates money. That's what the NFL is all about now. They want it to be a show. They want offenses to score as much as possible because that's what people like to see. That's why they changed. I believe they changed they made another rule and added a rule to the kickoff returns. So now, what do you get the ball at the 45 if they don't kick the ball in between the end zone and the 20-yard line? If they kick the ball through the end zone, then the opposing team gets the ball at the 45-yard line. So now that encourages kickers to go ahead and kick the ball to the returner so the returner can return the ball. Why? Because that's going to be a little more exciting. Maybe we want to score more points, may have more kickoff returns for touchdowns. That's more entertaining. More entertaining. It's more of a show. And that's what it's gotten to. That's what it's gotten to.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Personally, I would have loved to play during this era of football. I would have loved to been AJ Brown on that crossing route, running across the middle of the field underneath the linebackers, and the linebackers can't touch me, and I get to the other side of the field and catch the ball for a touchdown. I would love to be able to do that right now.
I just think the NFL, like you said, I think you said it the best, Bert. It's a show, not a game anymore. It's a show.
Yeah. Yep.
And to me, before we go, I'm gonna say, since it's a show, shows are scripted. We can end it on that one right there.
What is Hicks saying? What you saying, Hicks? Oh,
I don't know what he's saying. He on silent.
What's the matter with your mic, man?
What I was saying is that we try to be respectful of time because Bert had already told us one time.
Hey, yeah, I'm falling asleep right now.
Yeah, see, he
don't want to say it. Bert, where are you, Bert? Where are you?
No,
where you located?
We try to be...
It's almost 8 o'clock.
San Diego, he right down the street.
It's almost 11 o'clock where I am. Oh my gosh, it's almost 11 o'clock.
Remember
it just turned 11 o'clock. It just turned over.
No, okay.
Look, Hicks, you know I love you, right?
Hicks, I know you do.
I love you.
I'm trying to keep peace and sanity in the household.
Absolutely.
So Montel tried to keep it going. Bert trying to get off the phone because he's trying to dodge shoes being thrown at him.
No, we can keep it going. I mean, we can let it go. Hey, both you guys significant ones, tell them we said hello. Thank you from Team No Sleep. Hey, man, like we said, this show, I hope everybody just out there enjoys it. But just get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. That's how we learn.
And now you wrap it up real fast. Like, now
yeah,
you
man, we gotta go. Shoot, gotta get them going.
Listen, y'all. Appreciate you. Go ahead, bro.
Have me on anytime. I'm an open book. Just call me anytime. You know that, Hicks.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Oh, before we go, Bert, we gotta come do the show live at San Diego Strike Force game. We still on for that?
The next one, 27th is the next one. The next home game.
All right, James, you got to coordinate your schedule. We got to figure out their home schedule so we can make that happen.
Bruh, I live Southwest. Know me.
Well, let's go. We got to
I'm
rock and roll.
Southwest. Okay, we talk about that at all. Y'all
Can
again.
y'all
Like,
just have an earthquake down
see,
there?
stop playing. Well, that's down in their area. See, I'm cooler here. I'm good up here.
Good, man.
Bert, you all right? Everything good, Bert?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like a little shaker for about a few seconds. It wasn't bad. No damage or anything.
I don't listen. I don't know. That's the reason I don't come out to California. I don't know how y'all do it. When we're on the East Coast and there's a storm coming, we can see it coming. Hurricanes and stuff like that. So if you need to get out, you got time to get out. Those earthquakes, bro, they just happen.
They do.
Whenever they get ready to happen.
When the Lord gets to talking,
there's no warning.
No.
I can't deal with that. I can't do that.
Man.
God bless y'all. God bless all of y'all.
Get to shaking and moving, bobbing and weaving.
Nah, man, I can't do that.
Well, fellas, we out.
All right, thank you.
I don't know what's going on. Bert already gone. Y'all,
good to see you, Bert.
I'll say one last thing. If y'all found value in this, let us know. If you didn't find value, let us know as well. We gonna keep doing what we do. Lord have mercy.
Montel and James, bringing the heat. Team no sleep, with champions meet. We're on the mic, taking over the game. No time for rest, no scrambling for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field. All around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the mic, bringing news, real stories on the fly. Montel's got the stats, James got the flow. Together we're 2 around.